Yeah, the early ice fallows can make a huge difference. So you know what's exciting about these two matches here?
What is exciting about these matches?
That they both are, they both count. So we're getting kind of late in the tournament.
And Link's house has the first sword.
Wow, is this even open mode?
And we've got a map check, 3 crystals in the light world. But I did not notice if one of them was a Fat Fairy crystal. Arrows from the tree pole. Quostin's going to catch Uncle. Jetabb is going to catch Uncle the back way, as is Malle. Uncle's just got a Pizza Heart. Meanwhile, Kekumanshoyu is heading up to check Lumberjack. And presumably Dark Woods after that. Or Lost Woods, rather.
Looks like we have a save and quit from Jet, while Malle and Quostin are going to finish up Escape.
And a full heart container in Sanctuary. Who randomized this seed? And the crab is dropping arrows, which is always a nice thing.
We got another full heart for the mushroom location.
And that first chest in Escape is just a Pizza Heart.
Yeah, presumably if Quostin finds something a little deeper in here in Escape, this could be a big early deciding factor.
And Chad is telling us that Crystal 6 was in Desert. So getting a huge tracts of land crystal in Light World is a pretty good thing.
Coming up to the next chest in Escape, we got a Master Sword. So that could be pointing at an Aghanim required. Obviously, it's way too early to say anything definitively, but I know I get a little worried when I find an early mess. And another sword in the Thieves' Hut in Lost Woods.
Well, it ain't
3
quite
minutes in, and we already know where 3 swords are.
Wow, where do you think the 4th one's going to be? And just a big 20 in the Zelda chest. What's that, Lassie? Mog's fallen down a well.
So yeah, I was gonna say that finding the sword upgrade in Escape could have been a big deal, but considering there was another one right in the Thieves' Hut, it's probably not gonna make much of a difference.
And a flute scoop down there, too. So let me ask you an important question. Do you want to have a fetch quest?
I don't know how to respond to that. What would the next lyric in that song be? It doesn't have to be a fetch quest.
I know what I usually have as the next lyric in that song, but it's not. But it's not PG.
You'll have to tell me later then.
Okay, Keku found the power gloves, but I'm not sure their run has been validated. The single arrow has been found.
For 100 rupees, man. You gotta be careful of that bottle merchant. He can be a shrewd businessman. Quostin picking up his tempered sword.
I did not notice where Keku picked up Power Gloves.
I didn't either. I'm assuming it had to be somewhere here in Kakariko. Possibly the well? And we got Malle on the bottom picked up his tempered sword too. That's gonna give them each of those racers a bit of an edge over their opponent. The upgrade from Master Sword to Tempered Sword, or in Keku versus Malle's stake, Fighter in Tempered Sword is huge.
Oh yes, there it is. It's in the well. The Power Gloves are down in the well.
Keku picking up the boots as well. And,
Nice.
Along with Jet in that chicken coop house.
Chicken Hut's valuable. And the tavern has just a Pizza Hut.
We got Keku running down that grove. We're gonna find out what that shovel is gonna dig up for him. Red
And it's
rupee.
just a big 20. Jet heading over to check race game.
There we go. Keku, saving quitting the Link's house, picking up his Master Sword.
And I didn't notice what was in race game, but clearly it was not important.
I believe it was just a piece of heart. Not really worth going out of your way for.
Now, if it had been a full heart, I would go out of my way for that.
Jet showing off a little shovel dash there. Digging up his 20 bucks.
What about you? What's your opinion about going out of your way for, going a little bit out of your way for a full heart?
I probably wouldn't do it for the race game. I think that takes a little bit too long.
I can see that.
Like maybe like I don't know. It'd be very situational. Like if I felt like it's like a really health started seed, I might keep it in the back of my mind and pick it up if I happen to be in the area later. Oh,
Bonk rocks for das Buch. We are a fire source away from desert. Meanwhile, Jet heading to check the last 3 chests of escape. ₹300, a map, and a full heart.
Nice little adventurer starter kit. You know, we got Keku clearing out the front, so he's gonna get his tempered sword soon.
And Chad is saying swords this early, screaming Aghanim if the lamp shows up. I think it's screaming Desert Palace first.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, finding those sword upgrades early can be a big hit towards Aghanim. But obviously all the runners are probably gonna put that off until they're pretty dry and out of options.
Yeah, I don't blame him for that. I would too. Aghanim is 5 minutes for possible waste.
Yeah, it's a really bad feeling when you get those early sword upgrades and you're like, all right, obviously the seed wants me to do Aghanim, and then you find out later that you didn't have to do it at all. Oh, and we got a bottle. Fairy in a bottle sitting under the water here, over by the dam.
So is that going to mean a potential sick kid check in the near future? Jet heading to Mini Moldorm. Keku checking the 3 chests at the end of Escape. Quostin and Malle both heading down to the Sluice Gate. Hey, if you're not already following these runners, give them a follow. Because they are up here working hard for your entertainment.
Nothing particularly valuable in that mini Moldorm cave. So Jet got a full heart out of it. It's a few rupees. I think there's a piece of heart in there as well. Nothing that's really going to open up options.
Jet's setting up a fake flippers. So now the question is, with 600 rupees, is he going to? He's going up to Hobo.
He might try to jump back in and fake flipper out. Can be a little tricky to land on the right pixel. But I imagine with the 600 rupees, burning a hole in his pocket. See how this plays out. A lot of runners nowadays like to wait until they get that moon pearl.
So they can set up walk on water. And Hobo just has bombs.
What's he doing down there with those bombs? Yeah, we get save and quit from Jet. Let's see if he goes and turns in that bottle. He might head towards Sosro and Eastern first. He's at Sanctuary, so he's gonna go turn in that bottle, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he is gonna head over turn in that bottle. That's the obvious play. So where's the lamp going to be?
My money is on desert right now.
Oh, we had an Ice Rod Cave check from Quostin and Malle, and it has just a piece of heart.
Looks like Quostin's gonna run down and do fake flipper as well. He's got plenty of money for Zora, so we'll see if he decides to go Hobo or Zora.
He's using the bomb setup for fake flippers. That's an interesting setup.
That's pretty smart. It makes it a lot easier, since it automatically will knock you right 1 pixel away from the screen transition there.
That's true. It does give you the automatic setup for it. Looks like Jet is going to go up Death Mountain in the dark. Let's see. Our 3 swords have been in Link's house, Kakariko Well, and the second chest in going down to Zelda.
Just a little correction there. The second sword is actually in the Thieves' Hut in the woods, not the...
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
The power gloves.
Thank you. Blue mail from the old man on the mountain.
I'm not entirely sure I agree with Jet's decision to come up here yet. It's going to depend a lot on what he finds in this next cave. He's only able to get that's blue mail from the old man and whatever item this is, which is a red.
Yeah, it's just a big 20, so I don't know if that's a good play. It's a play that didn't work out well.
Yeah, it didn't work out well. I think it's a good idea before you confine yourself to egging him and stuff, but I think Quostin heading over to Eastern is probably more likely to be lucrative at this point.
Yeah, Quostin checking Rufus Xavier Sarsarilla's hut.
And we got Jet heading over to Desert.
We have a cape, we have silvers, and we have 50 rupees.
We got a red rupee on the ledge in Desert.
And we've got Malle running into Desert.
I have a feeling this lamp is gonna be showing up next. Ooh, and then we have Keku heading up to Zora.
And just 50 rupees in Agina's cave.
Oh, there's a Bombos on the ledge, in the Zora River. Obviously not gonna be able to get it yet until he can come back with flippers.
But it's really good to know that's up there.
Yeah, he might not even need it, but it's good to know where it is.
We have Titan's Mitts. Titan's Mitts in Desert. Dark World is opened.
Alright, now we just need to find that Moon Pearl.
Okay, now we just need to find that Moon Pearl and...
Zora coughing up 3 bombs for 500 rupees. What a scam artist.
Jet heading into Desert Palace, going to pick up his Titan's Mitts pretty quick. Quostin in Eastern, I have not seen what he's picked up, if anything.
Oh,
That's the cane!
Red Cane, not gonna do a whole lot for Quostin right now, but it's nice to know where it is. It can be a trickier item to find.
But it may or may not even be required in this seed.
That's true. We haven't seen the Dark World yet.
And with
But-
3 pendants in the Dark World...
I believe like the odds of a seed not being cane required are like less than 1%.
So what you're saying is there's a chance.
There's a chance.
And we've got a Bob upgrade in the big chest at Eastern. Looks like Malle has gotten all he can get out of Desert and is heading over to check King's Tomb.
Quostin checking his menu there. Realize he doesn't have the map or compass in Eastern yet. So he cleared it all out. The last item was in that big chest.
And we do have a lunar sphere in Desert. Now I've seen a seed that had, I've played a seed that had Misery Mire and Turtle Rock both pendants and still had cane required because Ganon's Tower Big Key was right hand side.
Yeah, I've had a couple of those myself. Just when you think the game's gonna be nice, you get to the Ganon's Tower without that cane.
But Kane was in Ganon's Tower in that seed.
Oh. That's more I've had one where Kane was in the Spike Cave with Misery Mire and Turtle Rock as pendants.
Okay, Misery Mire, Swamp, and Thieves Town are pendants. And Pod is our other Fat Fairy crystal. Swamp being the green pendant.
We got Malle doing the early Skullwoods check. Always a good call in this logic.
It's V26, do Skull Woods. And it's a crystal anyway, so you have to do it.
Yeah, I mean, even in the older logics, like an early Skullwoods check, while not like generally having an item as often, was still a pretty good call just because of how quick it is to check the front part of it. But definitely in this logic, it's always one of the first places I want to go. And so we see Jet right behind him. And while Keku's finally making his way over to Desert. Quostin as well. They're gonna get their mitts. And get to their Moon Pearl. So each of them a little bit behind in their respective races. Mostly just because of the order they checked everything in.
Yeah, that's easy to have happen. Looks like Quostin's heading over to do Desert Palace. Which will get him his Titan's Mitts.
We got Jet and Malle both in this statue room. These annoying Gibdos.
I'll tell you, those Gibdos are why I never liked Skullwoods. The Gibdos and the Ceiling Masters.
Oh, the flippers for all that trouble.
Looks like Malle is going to take an intentional death. Okay, so let's look at our...
Picked up that bottle, that ferried bottle, though.
Ooh. So let's do our sprite check. We've got Quostin using the standard Link sprite. We've got Jet and Keku both using the Mog sprite. And I do not recognize the sprite that Malle is using.
I believe it's Marissa? I believe there's a Toho character. I think there's a couple Toho sprites at this point.
I just always use the standard Link sprite because I'm boring.
We got a bottle of green goo in the C-shaped house for Jet. Malle is just behind them. Quostin picking up his Moon Pearl, that desert big chest. Let's see, now we got Keku. He's gonna go down and do a fake flipper as well. 'Cause he's got that Moon Pearl now, so you can check those waterfall chests.
And as chat points out, a lot of times it's much easier to set up bomb jumps using the Link sprite.
I agree. I think, especially as like typically that's how you learn all of those. Ooh, we got a hammer for Malle in the chess game.
Halt! The hour of the hammer is upon us!
Jet just pick up his as well. And they're both diving right into Thieves Town.
Well, I think that's the sensible play, even though it's a pendant dungeon. You can full clear it. It's easy and quick to clear.
Yeah, and offers up 4 items.
Wait a minute. Did Keku did the waterfall and picked up the hook shot?
That's interesting. So he's gonna sequence break up to Death Mountain now. He's got the hook shot, so he's gonna get access over to the east side and the bow in Thieves Town.
That's always great to see. Bow is required in every seed.
Yeah, so Jet and Malle both have the bow and hammer. That's gonna let them do Olive Pod and finish Eastern.
And Sick Kid just has another big 20. And all of Death Mountain is right now a sequence break because we don't have a flute or a lamp.
Yeah, it's probably one that's gonna be leading Keku a little astray here. 'Cause without the hammer from the chess game, he's not gonna be able to get up to Hera unless he finds the mirror.
Right. Well, chat points out that Jet leaves. Oh, Peg Cave with the mushroom. Yes, and as chat points out, pod is finishable only if you either know the dark rooms or find the lamp.
That's a good point.
And now some of those dark rooms I'm okay with, but the dark maze, the maze that leads over to the big chest, I have enough trouble with that room with the lamp. 2 digs to get the bomb upgrade, the big bomb upgrade and digging game for Jet.
We got a shield and a full heart in the Paradox Cave so far for Keku. Gonna move on to that big 5 chest payload.
In that cave. I was commentating on a seed earlier in this race where that cave that Keku is in now had not 1, not 2, but 3 sword upgrades and half magic.
Found the bug net.
Okay, yeah, clearly now Aghanim required.
10 arrows in the big chest over from Thieves Town on Malle's side. We got a hype cave visit from Jet. We got a full heart, red rupee, some bombs, and another red rupee.
And I did not see what the guy in front had.
Yeah, I didn't see either.
But chat's not going crazy, so it was probably not anything important.
Looks like we were gonna get at least a pyramid check from Jet.
And I did not see what was on Death Mountain Floating Island.
Unfortunately, I didn't either. It's hard to keep up with all of this. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, it is. It certainly is, partner.
There's a piece of heart on the pyramid. Meanwhile, Keku is making his way through Spiral Cave, and a red rupee from Blind. So it looks like Jet's decision to leave Thieves Town early was a great one.
Well, maybe.
Unless it's pedestal required.
Because the pedestal hype is still there. The dream is alive.
Alright, we got Quostin picking up his slippers from Skullwoods.
Meanwhile, Keku heading over to do Super Bunny Cave.
Keku missing the hookshot clip there. Interesting thing in this game is when those blocks that you push as Link are in movement, they're kind of not really there in most of the sense, so you can hookshot right over them.
Keku gets the hookshot clip that time.
Yeah, unfortunately he missed it the first time, so he had to reset the room.
Well, he could have just gone over and done it the traditional way.
You could have, yeah. If you just go up the cave there's a pit you can fall down that puts you in between those 2 pairs of blocks, but I think a lot of people don't really know that because you don't see it very often.
Jet picks up his bacon sword.
Ooh. Quostin took a spill over there, having to use his fairy. Looks like he might be heading over to check Catfish. While Keku's clearing out the Hookshot Cave. Finding 320 rupees. A piece of heart. So yeah, that hookshot that Keku kind of sequence broke to get kind of followed that sequence break up to Death Mountain. Cleared it all out, and you didn't really find anything that's going to help him. At least not in terms of completing the seed.
Right. You don't expect to see nothing but junk in East Death Mountain, though.
Yeah, particularly when you can full clear both the Light World and Dark World. But that can be kind of the danger of breaking sequence.
And Quostin does not take the best weapon in the game, the blue boomerang. That's because that's what Catfish is giving away.
It looks like Quostin's probably going to run down. He's going to check the pyramid too, find that piece of heart, and then he... I'm not sure what he was going to do. He may decide to check in the pod.
The mushroom...
He hasn't picked up his bow yet.
Just to let you know, the mushroom is giving half magic.
That's a nifty find. Obviously not required. But once
Not
you get the half
required,
magic and,
but
like,
incredibly
the fire
helpful.
rod, yeah, it can be extremely helpful. Especially when you get to Ganon's tower.
Yeah, as chat points out, vaguely vanilla-ish.
Yeah, just... I mean, it's basically vanilla, just one step removed. Alright, Jet's making his way up to Zora. He's gonna get the most expensive bombs he's ever bought. Probably pick up that Bombus while he's here, because he doesn't know if he needs it or not.
Chad is telling us that Ether is the Turtle Rock medallion.
Okay. I didn't see that. I know Keku checked, but I didn't actually see it. So, Ether for Turtle Rock means Bombus isn't required for that. It could be required to get into Mire, which is a
It also could be required for Ice Palace.
True. And with everything on the table right now, it's open to logic. Like, once Jet picks up this hook shot, he'll be able to full clear ice. According to logic. So let's see, this is actually a very interesting seed so far. There's a lot of options on the table.
That is certainly true, my friend.
It looks like Quostin's doing that early pod check, which is typically a pretty good move. Pod tends to have something a lot of the time. Unfortunately, he still hasn't gone into that pendant Eve sound, and he hasn't picked up his bow yet. Otherwise, he'd be able to really dig deep into here. For his sake, he's kind of got to hope that actually that first small chest is not a small key.
Right, because if that first small chest is not a small key, then Pod is completely bow locked.
Yeah, because if it is a small key, there's a very good chance he can just end up wasting time here. It's a good point pointed out in chat here. I've definitely done this before. Keku picked up the blacksmith in the Dark World, the frog here, which prevented him from doing digging game. Because you can't do digging game when you have that or the chest or anything following you. Oh, the fire rod for the first item in Pod, so it is completely bow locked, which means he's not going to waste his time here. And he found something he's going to need.
But that's an awful nice item to find.
For sure. Yeah, so Keku wasn't able to do the digging game. We know that it's just a bomb capacity upgrade, so it's not really a big deal. But he doesn't know that.
That's very true.
So we'll see if that's weighing on his mind at all. I know I'm definitely the kind of player who, like, when I go over to do something like that, and it's like, oh, I can check this, but I messed up somehow. It's very hard for me to, like, kind of let that go from my mind.
Quostin heading up to do Zora and the Waterfall Fairy, looks like.
Yeah, so he's gonna pick up his hook shot. Probably pick up his bombos.
And perhaps I know in my situation, or if it were me, I would probably head right back down that whirlpool and go straight into Ice Palace.
Yeah, I think given the items he has the hammer, he's got the fire rod. He'll have bombos if he wants to pick it up. He's got the flippers.
He's got the hook shot. I think Crystal Ice Palace is the right play at that point.
I tend to agree. We've seen time and time again in this logic that Ice Palace tends to have something, which can be hard to wrap your head around, because it used to be like the last place anyone ever wanted to go, just because of the sheer time difference between doing it in go mode and full clearing it. But you really can't count on the luxury of not full clearing it anymore.
Just like you can't really count on the luxury of being able to do Turtle Rock last.
Exactly. It looks like you nailed it.
Looks
Looks like that's what
Quostin is doing
gonna do.
Well, again, with what he's got, it's clearly got to be the right play.
Well, we'll see. We got Jet over on the other side. He's exploring East Death Mountain. He's gonna have to save and quit afterwards because he doesn't have the mirror. But with that hook shot and hammer, he does have access to Tower of Hera, which is also a crystal. He'll have access to that ether tablet up there too with the book.
Yeah, and that'll be the same number of items as Ice Palace.
And it's quite a bit faster. But again, like I said, the seed is just actually like it's super open-ended.
Breadsmiths have a mail upgrade.
We got Malle down there clearing out Eastern, which I think at this point all the players have gotten all the items from there. But you got to go in there to clear out that that crystal anyway. And then if you're comfortable doing dark rooms, Malle can pop over and do pod as well.
And Jet checks, and it is in fact ether for Turtle Rock.
So yeah, we have Keku making his return trip to Death Mountain. He's gonna go around. He's gonna go up to Hera for sure, since he's already done everything else up here. He's having a little bit of trouble with that dead rock though.
Oh, stupid dead rocks!
Most frustrating enemy in like any video game ever.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if it's even the most frustrating enemy on Death Mountain in this game.
Yeah, those boulders are pretty annoying too.
Yeah, because cabbages.
I don't know though. I think there's just something deviant. Oh, we're getting a spike cave check from Jet. So this is actually the one thing in Death Mountain that Keku hasn't checked yet, besides Hera.
And we're seeing the traditional method of Ice Palace from Quostin.
Yeah, it makes sense. I'm a big fan of doing the bomb jump regardless. Largely because you're not exactly sure. You might find all 3 items super early. And so if you do the bomb jump, it means you won't have to delve deeper for like the big key or anything. But a lot of times, if you have like the hook shot and you have the cane, the bomb jump doesn't really end up being worth it.
Yeah, I can see that. Looks like Jet is heading back to finish up Eastern.
Yeah, he may be doing pod afterwards. Kind of following the same route as Malle. Malle just starting pod. He picked up that fire rod. Tried to go through that center door there. Realizing he doesn't have a small key.
Unusual seed where that first chest is not a small key.
Yeah, it's very easy to be thrown off by that. Oh, you know what? Jet actually hasn't been to Eastern yet. So that play makes a lot of sense then.
It does.
Yeah, so he's gonna pick up his red cane over here. Quostin's sitting at half a heart in Ice Palace.
With green mail.
Yeah. Ice Palace is pretty scary in green mail. So you gotta think in the vanilla game, this is where they give you the first mail upgrade. So this is kind of where there's like a kind of a damage increase. So going through here in green mail, things can hit you pretty hard. Particularly a cold stare. Cold stare will body you for like 4 hearts.
And we have a lamp. I love lamps.
And an ice
And
rod.
an ice rod.
Getting a little bit of fire and ice.
And that piece of heart is the third and final item here in Ice Palace.
Yeah, the Ice Palace play is gonna be a big one close in there.
And as chat points out, that is a nasty intended Death Mountain route.
Oh yeah. Pretty much, I've seen Lamp in Ice Palace like once or twice before, and pretty much any time it's there means like if you're actually strictly following the logic, it's kind of a nasty route. But here's where the not doing the bomb jump kind of can show why I think it's always worth doing.
Yes, agreed.
It's not gonna be a huge deal because you can just grab this small key here, and then I think he's gonna have to go around, like down and to the left is probably where the big key is.
Of course, the big key could be all the way up at the top.
It's not gonna hurt him a lot. But this is what I was talking about. You can find the 3 items early on. Oh, he's not even checking that chest.
He's gonna check it on his way back down.
Oh, okay.
That's a pretty standard routing decision.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I pretty much, like I said, I always do the bomb jump. Ooh.
I don't think I agree with it, but... Oh, he's got the big key.
Oh, he just needed a small key. Oh, okay. See, yeah. He could have just grabbed this one on the right there, and then went back. Interesting. So even after playing this game, like, hundreds of times, Ice Palace still bamboozles me.
Yeah, Ice Palace is a confusing place.
Oh, this is interesting. On Jet's side, we have him hindering Ice Palace too. He hasn't picked up his fire rod yet, though, so it's going to be probably a little bit slower for him. Although, if he does the bomb jump, you could save some time for Quostin's route. Sorry to interrupt you there. Malle is working his way through the dark
Malle is working his way through the dark maze. The room that I was mentioning earlier that I have trouble with, even with the lamp.
Yeah, I think
and
enough.
Quostin through Cold Stare.
Yeah, that was a good fight. That's also going to be a huge help. He had the fire rod to help out a little bit there, which does gold sword damage to Cold Stare. So when you have that Bombos and Fire Rod combo, you can Bombos to break open the shell, save a little bit of magic, and use the Fire Rod to take them down a little bit safer, quicker, and easier.
Okay. Logic expected Cane of Samaria to beat to complete Ice Palace.
Yeah, that's what that small key drop on the boss there means. So the interesting thing here is...
And Jet
Quostin
is
just
setting up
needs
for that
that
bomb
ether.
jump.
So once Quostin finds that ether to get into Turtle Rock, he's actually in go mode. Because he doesn't need the flute to get into Mire, because that's a pendant. Doesn't need Mirror because Swamp is also a pendant.
That's true.
Okay, Jet getting that bomb jump in Ice Palace.
Quostin does need the bow as well, but we know he's going to pick that up. Oh, we don't know he's going to pick that up because that's in Thieves Town, which is a pendant.
Right, you're right. I didn't even notice he hasn't picked up his bow yet. He hasn't been to Thieves Town.
Okay, so for those of you who are not familiar with Randomizer, when we say go mode, that means you have all the items you need to complete the game.
Oh yeah, thanks for clarifying. I should keep that in mind.
Well, every race is someone's first to watch.
Oh yeah.
So knowing the terminology is important. Malle heading over to take care of Helmasaur King.
Yeah, he's in the dreaded turtle room. So you were talking about the Dark Maze. The Dark Maze is bad, but I think with enough practice and like kind of a you can use a picture as a reference. Like you can eventually get that down. But the rooms leading into Helmasaur can just be brutal. But he made it through. He did have that fire rod, which can help, and then.
And Malle gonna use the silver arrow strat to make very quick work of Helmasaur.
Yo, it's a bee.
All hail B-Torp. V-Torp, one of the developers of the Randomizer, is infamous for his planned seeds, where he will include, for instance, every bottle having a bee in it.
Alright, looks like Malle's gonna go turn in that mushroom. Quostin, we got up on Death Mountain, he's gonna clear that out.
He gets Fisher Price's he gets Fisher Price's My First Shield and a big heart. Jet trying to bomb jump over the hookshot room.
Yeah, you can obviously, or like you can do that. It's a kind of a tricky jump, and it's kind of a weird decision considering he did have the hook shot. Sometimes you just gotta go for the slag strats, I guess.
As chat points out, at this point the runners are probably hoping they don't find the mirror or the flute.
That's true. That'd be more hurtful than helpful at this point. As I mentioned, Mire and Swamp are not required because they're pendants. So flute and mirror aren't required, but if you find them, that opens up those areas of the map.
And Keku making pretty quick work of Armos Knights.
Yeah, he's making use of those silver arrows. Showed up really early on in the seed. They, silver arrows will one-shot any enemy in the game that's normally damaged by arrows, aside from Vitreous, the Mire boss, and Ganon. Vitreous taking 2, and Ganon taking 4 when he's vulnerable to them. Wait.
Okay,
oh.
so...
Sorry, yeah, chat pointing out that Malle picked up Ether. I didn't see where he picked that up.
He must have picked it up in Pod.
Yeah, he must...
Maybe in the dark room?
Maybe it was a dark room?
And Chad asks about the Ice Rod. Ice Rod is in Ice Palace.
Yeah, I believe this is the vanilla big key chest. We got Jet duking it out with Cold Stare, sitting at a heart and half.
Which is a rough place to be doing Cold Stare.
Yeah, but he handled it like a pro. We got Quostin up here in Hera. Find out what the gods have for him. Ooh, the Hylian gods showering some love upon him. Now he's gonna take his dip into Hera.
Keku picks up his Fire Rod. So yes, if Malle goes to Ice Palace now, when he gets his Ice Rod, Malle will be in go mode. And Malle is going to Ice Palace.
Sure, yeah, he's gonna be in go mode. This is gonna be... He's gonna have quite the lead over Keku. Keku's really gonna need to head to Ice Palace after Pod here.
And Keku does not have the mirror.
No, Mirror hasn't shown up yet. My money is Mirror's probably in Ganon's Tower at this point. But that's always my assumption. If something isn't required and hasn't shown up at this point in the seed, it's in Ganon's Tower. 100% of the time.
But
that does mean he's gonna have to save and quit.
But does Malle know that he's in go mode with the Ice Rod?
That's a solid point. He hasn't gone up and checked Turtle Rock yet, has he?
I don't believe he has. Or will Malle treat it as Schrodinger's go mode?
I mean, to be honest, with Bombos and Ether in store, if I was in Malle's shoes, I probably wouldn't like actively skip things. But you can kind of assume that you have the medallion you need.
And Trolldorm knocks down Quostin.
What a bully.
Stupid troll dorm.
He made quick work of him though on that second attempt there. 3 quick ones. Looks like Malle is not going to do Ice House Spawn Jump either.
Yeah, Malle has not done Death Mountain because Malle has not picked up the shield that's up there.
Yeah, he doesn't have the shield or the bug net or anything. So he's the only one that hasn't gone up and done the Death Mountain stuff yet.
Quostin checking Tower of Hera basement.
So I would expect Malle after he finishes Ice Palace to go check Turtle Rock. Because once you have everything you need other than like possibly a medallion, it's a good idea to check. Because you don't want to be clearing dungeons not knowing whether you know your go mode or not.
Not knowing whether you're go mode or... Okay, Keku getting knocked off the bridge there in pod. That's why I just shoot the second one with an arrow. I shoot the second mini Homosaur with an arrow on that bridge. Leaves me no worries.
Yeah, I like to do that sometimes too, especially if you have the bow out. You can like shoot an arrow up and then dash right after it. And it'll just take out that Homosaur for you.
And Quostin, not without the mirror, having to walk back through the Tower of Hera basement.
So I mentioned at the kind of the top of these races here that these were going to be interesting because both of these races really counted for something. Because I wanted to mention that Keku and Malle are both sitting at 1-1 in their Group J. So the winner of their race will be moving on to 2-1 and tied for first place. So they're both really going to be looking for the win here. Meanwhile, for Jet in Quostin's race, Jet is sitting at 1-1 in their group, and Quostin's 0-3. So unfortunately, Quostin is out of contention. But Jet really needs this win to move on to 2-1, and then it'll be a race between him and Lord Monte for second place after that.
Keku heading to doing the dark maze. Meanwhile, Jet heading over to the dark maze now as well. And yes, Ether was in fact in the dark maze.
Nice, okay. It's good to know. Yeah, Keku made pretty quick work of that dark maze. Made it through pretty quickly, and he made the return trip, which is probably quite a bit harder, because at least it's not as practiced as much, because usually you can mirror out or something afterwards. But he got through there pretty much flawlessly.
And Malle is in go mode.
As is Jet. So you got one racer in each of these races in go mode. Except for Malle doesn't know that he's in go mode. Jet should know.
Yes, Jet should definitely know that he's in go mode. Malle, we're not sure. Malle is not sure. Quostin heading over towards Thieves Town. That will put Quostin in go mode.
Yeah, Malle making quick work of Cold Stare.
Oh wait, no. Go mode in. He still needs pod as well.
Yeah, Malle putting that fire rod and the half magic to good use. On Cold Stare there.
Jet using the Cane of Samaria to hit the switch in the pod blocks.
Yeah, see a little bit of frustration in chat there. Yes, Quostin needs to go into Thieves Town.
Yes, Quostin needs to go into Thieves Town to get his bow. And then he needs to go into pod to get his Ether Medallion, and at that point Quostin will be in go mode.
Unfortunately, obviously he has no idea that that's where he needs to head. And he's got other options, like you see here, he's gonna go up and do Skullwoods. Because it's a crystal dungeon, and he can complete it, so why not? That's the thing about this, the seed being so open, as I mentioned earlier. You just have so many options that, as we mentioned early on, Thieves Town, often a very desirable dungeon to head into, even as a pendant. But when you have so many options, including being able to clear out crystal dungeons, it's very easy to put off.
Yeah, especially when it's a choice between a crystal dungeon and a pendant dungeon. Jet choosing to slash the gem in Helmasaur King's head rather than going to the bow. It saves the menu time.
Yeah, the Silver Arrow will take him out in one shot. Meanwhile, the Tempered Sword, 1 spin slash and 2 normal slashes will take him out. Which saves you the menu. I think the Silver Arrow tends to be slightly faster, but it can also be kind of tricky to hit Helmasaur. He tends to speed up and move around a bit more once you take that mask off. And if you miss like a single Silver Arrow shot, it's definitely going to take longer.
I have always hated the Mothra fight. Oh, Quostin gets bounced by the spike into the Ceiling Master.
Yep, that's even worse than the Mothula fight. Oh, nice. He has that bottle of green goo they picked up back up in the C-shaped house.
I'm sure he would prefer to use it during the Mothula fight.
Sure, he's still got 4 Fire Rod shots though, and at least with the Tempered Sword, Mothula dies in 4 quick slashes, so hopefully doesn't need too much. There we go, he's baiting out the hand first. So gotta be careful, since this is based on the Japanese like 1.0 version of this game, those Ceiling Masters can grab you even while you're falling down the hole.
Yeah, that's just... just terrible.
Yeah, if it's ever happened to you, you know it's like one of the most frustrating things.
Okay, Malle still has to finish Desert, Tower of Hera, Skullwoods, and Turtle Rock.
Yep, versus Keku's finishing Skullwoods right now. That's going to leave him with Ice Palace and Turtle Rock and Desert. So it could be close here. Unfortunately, Keku's not in go mode like Malle is. And while I believe he's still in this, he really needs to go to Ice Palace so he can get that Ice Rod. So unless he goes to Ice Palace after this, it's gonna be a tough call.
I think Malle made a very poor play in not checking Turtle Rock.
I actually no, I agree with this because you gotta remember he doesn't have the mirror. So once he enters the Dark World, it's a one-way trip. So I imagine he wants to clear out Hera because it's gonna be fast regardless. Hopefully he skips out on the basement though, because that does have an item in it.
That's right.
I imagine he wants to do this before entering the Dark World.
I was forgetting he didn't have the mirror. Because my first thought was, but you do Turtle Rock, you mirror across, you do Tower of Hera, you mirror back to open Ganon's tower.
Yeah, he still has to do Desert too. I was actually thinking the same thing. I was like, I don't know why he didn't do Desert, and then like you could group all three of those dungeons together, as you mentioned. But then I remembered that he actually doesn't know. He still doesn't know for sure that he's in go mode, and he also doesn't have that mirror.
Quostin now gonna get his bow in Thieves' Town.
Yeah, we'll see what he decides to do after he finds his bow. The best thing for him to do would be to leave immediately afterwards, because that's all he's gonna need here. But he doesn't know that, so it can be it can be a tough choice to make to leave. You don't know. You never know. You might need the next item here.
But Quostin gets his bow, and he is leaving directly.
Yeah. Obviously, the right call to make, as we know. And even from his perspective, a pretty good call, because that opens up all of Pod for him. And he'll be able to finish Eastern. I think there's too many good options available to like waste your time going through the rest of Thieves' Town.
And it looks like Quostin is heading over to do Pod.
Yeah, as pointed out in chat, he's probably feeling behind at this point. That bow's been available for a long time. So anytime you find something like that sitting in the front of Thieves' Town, which is a pretty accessible spot, I generally, at least, I assume the worst and be like, oh great, my opponent probably found this like 30 minutes ago.
And I think Quostin is behind because of missing the bow.
I totally agree. So it's going to be kind of a matter of how he approaches the rest of that seed. Like if he's going to be taking in some more chances, possibly when he gets to Ganon's tower. The one nice thing is once he does find Ether in Pod here, he'll be in go mode.
He'll know he's in go mode.
And he'll know right away.
No Schrodinger's go mode for him. And Jet and Malle both have taken their taken the mushroom back to get half magic. Did Malle complete Skull Woods?
I'm trying to think. It doesn't look like it. Only got the 4 crystals. I'm wondering, maybe I thought Malle already came up here, but maybe he didn't check Turtle Rock.
No, Malle had not checked Turtle Rock which left him in Schrodinger's Go mode. But
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
understand
sorry.
why Malle is doing Turtle Rock now that he knows he's in Go mode. Why he's not doing Skullwoods and Desert first.
Totally. Oh man, I'm getting mixed up. I'm just overwhelmed with everything that's going on here.
While Keku is finishing off Desert. Chat points out that yes, Turtle Rock is a crystal. I agree, it's a crystal. But it's the
Well,
routing to Ganon's tower that's why...
The thing is, I think he had to come over here to check if he could do Turtle Rock, right? And since he was already here, like, I don't disagree with this. Like, you might as well just complete it, because he's gonna have to do it either way. Because otherwise he would just save and quit, go do Desert, Skullwoods, and come right back here and complete it anyway. So, like, either way, I think it comes out a wash.
I just think with two pendants you just, or two medallions, you just do it. But yeah, I think but yes, as chat points out, Go mode Turtle Rock looks a whole lot like full clear Turtle Rock.
That's true, and well, he knows he's in Go mode now anyway. So he knows he doesn't have to check anything extra here.
Oh boy, Chain Chomp Room.
This is, like, that room is just the worst. I have probably died to those chain chomps more than, like, anything else in this game at this point.
Oh, those chain chomps are terrible.
Alright, meanwhile we got Jet duking it out with Moldorm. Quick slash from Tempered Sword and Spin Slash takes him out. He's picking up his 6th crystal. He's just got to run over, clear Turtle Rock, and head on back over for Ganon's tower. So he's making great pace. I mean, you could be looking at a 130 depending on how Turtle Rock plays out and how nice Ganon's tower decides to be.
Keku just needs the Ice Rod and he's in Go mode.
Yeah. Which, as a reminder, is in the vanilla big key chest in Ice Palace.
But he is checking huge tracts of land, also known as Fat Fairy.
I've never heard that before.
Oh, she's rich, she's beautiful, she's got huge tracts of land.
That's good. I like that. Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with what he's doing from his perspective. It's just unfortunate for us in the chat knowing that it's the wrong play.
Yeah, we just know that he needs to be doing Ice Palace.
As I mentioned, that can be. I mean, I keep on like repeating myself, but this was a really open seed, which can just make it very hard to obviously find the right path through the game. And as I mentioned earlier, Go moding Ice Palace is just such a faster clear than full clearing it. So going to check all these other options before heading there, it can be kind of desirable. Like it's appealing.
And Malle is setting up. Malle is setting up the safety door. Wait a minute. Why is Malle?
He has a small key. He probably doesn't realize he doesn't need to check all this, or he just wants a health refill before going into Trinex. Yeah, that's what it looks like it was.
That's what it is.
So he was sitting at 2 hearts. And that blue mail, a single hit from Trinex would have knocked him out. And just in case he does die, it's a lot better to restart from that door than from the big chest.
Oh yes, the safety door, especially when you figure. I think Malle has to figure he's ahead at this point.
Oh yeah.
And the safety door, and Keku is making the right play and heading to Ice Palace.
With how this logic plays out, getting go mode shortly after an hour, and then he's only got Desert Palace and Skull Woods, which are like 2 of the fastest dungeons to clear, like the 2 fastest actually.
And Malle just about to finish off Michael Bay, boss. 90%, 95% explosions, 5% plot.
Quostin finishing up Helmasaur, netting his 4th crystal.
Quostin in go mode. Jet finishing up his last crystal dungeon.
Yeah, unfortunately, Quostin's on a good pace, but unfortunately, he's just too far behind Jet at this point to catch up.
Oh my! I never
without some
noticed.
mistakes on Jet's side.
I never noticed that the bunny for the Mog sprite is Selly's.
Yeah, it's really great. The Mog sprite's probably like my favorite now. It used to be the Frog sprite. But yeah, the Sella sprite is a really nice touch. Particularly if you're familiar with certain speedrun categories of Final Fantasy VI. Particularly the sketch glitch category. You never pick up Celeste, so she is actually a Moogle in that game.
Just so everyone knows, after this race here on Randomizer Mania, they are having a vodcast of the Dragon Warrior Randomizer tournament races. The finals of which will be on Randomizer Mania tomorrow. Or, I'm sorry, on RPG Limit Break tomorrow. And as someone points out in chat, I'm a Mog. Half man, half dog. I'm my own best friend.
So got Malle finishing Skull Woods up. Quostin heading into Desert. Oh, Jet taking a death, but he's still got that ferry.
But he's got a ferry. Malle in Skull Woods.
At this point, yeah, everyone's kind of just on cleanup duty. Besides Keku, who's still not quite in go mode yet, but he'll be there in just a couple minutes once he finds the Ice Rod and Ice Palace here. Which is actually, it's gonna be pretty close between him and Keku, or him and Malle. Malle's got to go do Desert, which is a quick clear, while Keku still has Turtle Rock, so he's definitely behind. But not so far behind that it's insurmountable, depending on how Ganon Tower. Like a good Ganon Tower gamble, the right route from there could really make all the difference in their race.
Yes. So as soon as Keku gets his Ice Rod, he will know that he is in go mode.
And to be honest, I think in Keku's shoes, I don't think like a gamble in G Tower is outside the realm of possibility. The late find for that bow, he's got to feel pretty far behind. Or the late find for this ice rod, rather.
And to answer something in chat, they're thinking they keep hearing jet and think we're meaning Stoops jet seed. Well, let's be clear. Go mode at an hour is a Stoops jet seed.
Yeah, this is a pretty Stoops jet seed because we got Jet entering GT at a 120. Really nice.
And we have a tradition here in the randomizer tournament where we guess what chest is going to have the big key, whether it be by number or by location.
What's your guess?
I always guess tile room until I see it until I will actually see it in tile room. Except for earlier today when there were no boots, so I guessed it was on lamp. It was on bonk lamp.
I'm gonna guess the double fire bar room. Which going like the route Jet's using right now should be number 8.
Well, and Jet not taking the Dark Magician route of if you get a key in that room, and rip Bob. If you get a key in that right-hand room, just doing right side first.
Yeah, there's man, watching people clear Ganon Tower now is like a lot more interesting to use because there's a lot of different routes people do now. You can get that early small key and you can go right with it. You can save yourself a little bit of time going left and just cutting through that locked door. Oh, there's the big key already.
There's a big key in...
That's chest number 6.
Yes, in chest number 6.
Counting that small key on the lamp there.
Well, yes, the small key on the lamp, Bob's lamp does count as a location.
So yeah, super quick G tower.
Yeah, this is a complete and utter jet seed.
Yeah, this should be shaping up nicely for a good sub 130 for Jet here, assuming, barring any unfortunate mishaps at least.
Getting
like
through
Keku is
the
a
mimic
little
spike room.
Unsure what to do. Did he?
I mean, did he pick up his ice rod?
I was
He
just
picked up his ice rod.
about to ask the same thing because it's not marked, but I'm assuming he had to pick it up. I don't know where he's heading then.
Well, he's headed to Village of Outcasts, it looks like. Well, Chad is asking who wins the one that finishes first. Well, the top two racers are one race, the bottom 2 racers are the other. And Jet gets through Ganonball Run pretty quickly.
Yeah, just to elaborate on that, all 4 racers are racing on the same seed. Largely for like our convenience as commentators. If they were doing different seeds, it'd be even more impossible to keep up with everything. But they're only directly racing their opponent. Jet making quick work through that gauntlet there.
I'm not sure what Keku is doing.
He doesn't realize
he's doing Gary's lunchbox.
Like he thinks he's missing something, even though he's not. Which is a mistake I've seen many people do. I've done it myself. Like sometimes you you get it in your head that you need mirror or you need flute for something, because you often do. Or yeah, someone mentioned in chat, Keku didn't track ether on his tracker.
Oh.
Which I'm pretty sure he did check Turtle Rock, but yeah, if he forgot to mark it down and like doesn't remember, he doesn't realize he can get into Turtle Rock.
Oh, that would be a problem.
That is, yeah. So he's gonna go around and check all of these other locations. Thankfully, he doesn't have that mirror or that flute, so he can't go check Mario. He can't check Swamp Palace. So he's just gonna clear the rest of this overworld, and then.
And Malle doing the Dark Magician, route. Which, as we know, is not the right route, but... And he doesn't get through the door in time.
Oh, okay. So thank you. I just want to thank Twitch chat here for like clearing what happened up for me there. That makes sense. I've actually done this before. He didn't mark ether, as in like he doesn't know that he has ether. I think is what happened because he picked up in a dark room.
Yeah, it was in the dark room in that pod.
Okay, I definitely feel for. I've done this before. Because that can be the other small caveat with doing dark rooms.
But we do have
half
a
the
mirror.
items you pick up.
We did get a mirror out of Compass Room.
Nice. It's actually a really convenient spot to get it, because as you see there, he switched to it after picking up that small key. And mirrored right out. So now he's gonna go left and find his big key. Okay, it looks like Keku...
And he will be able to mirror out when he gets his big key. And yes, Keku's heading up. Jet clears Aghanim too. And now Jet's off to fight the big pig.
So, good Ganon fight. This is going to be right around 130 for Jet here.
Malle got the mirror in right side Ganon's tower.
So we got Keku about to enter Turtle Rock here. Again, it's unfortunate he didn't realize that he had ether and that he was in go mode. I don't really know if it would have made a difference though. He still had all of Turtle Rock to do, so he was behind to begin with.
Well, fortunately, Jet had a fairy, but Ganon hugs our best hugs. Jet into phase 3 of the Ganon fight. As Malle heads through Ganon Ball Run. And Malle is going to head over and try to get those fairies.
Yeah, taking a little pit stop there. This next few rooms, the Gauntlet and Lambo. Like the rest of the Ganon's Tower can be pretty deadly, so never really a bad idea to make a quick pit stop to grab some fairies and fill up magic.
And Jet onto the last phase gets the torch glitch. Now, if you light the left-hand torch before the right-hand torch goes out, the right-hand torch will never go out.
Ooh.
Quostin finishes off Trinex.
He's had a couple close calls with these fire bats, but Jet's there he goes, lands that last silver arrow. He was making a smart call there, playing it safe on Ganon.
Yes.
You don't want to get too aggressive. It's best to play it safe and kind of dodge those fire bats rather than get too aggressive, because the knockback on those can be crazy.
And Jet is through the door. Jet.Duns with an official SRL time of 1:31:15, which is incredibly impressive.
Yeah, that's a darn good time. Alright, so that means, as I mentioned earlier, Jet will be moving on to 2-1 within his group, Group F. And he's got one race left against Lord Monty in his group, who's also sitting at 2-1. So that's going to be a good race. So whichever one of those wins between those two are going to move on.
Meanwhile, Quostin is just heading into Ganon's tower. Malle is having a little bit of difficulty with the Wizrobe room. And Keku is in Turtle Rock. Quostin taking the Dark Magician routing as well. And I believe that is Jet ABB coming into the channel for a post-race interview.
Hey guys.
Congratulations.
Thank you. That was crazy seed.
It was a lot of fun to watch.
A lot of fun to play.
It was really open-ended. It gave you guys like a lot of options early on.
Yeah, I almost skipped the last half of Ice Palace, so I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah, we saw that would have been very bad. Like that.
Seriously, go mode at an hour?
Yeah, I was not expecting that. I had to think about that for a second because I picked up the Ether Medallion and Dark Room Pod, and I kept picking stuff up. What am I doing? I can go. I'm good. This is it.
Yeah, like I said, great job. That was a very good race. How did you, again, like the super early go mode, how did you feel like in relation to your opponent? Did you think you were ahead? Did you think you were behind? Or like, kind of like, walk us through your mindset, I guess.
It was difficult to tell because, yeah, I'm trying to think, I'm trying to process it, you know. I usually just try. I felt like I was okay based on what I found and where everything was. It was just hard to believe that I was go mode that early. That's what I was saying. I was tempted to still look for more items because.
Yeah, it's not often in this iteration of the logic to be in go mode that early.
Exactly. Do I really have everything? I need to make sure. I had to check a couple times.
And Malle finishes up Aghanim 2 and is heading over to fight the big old pig.
Yeah, there was a couple instances where I had to reopen the map just to make sure am I going the right place? Am I on the right track? Because I don't want to miss anything.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I mentioned as you were finishing up, you're going to move on to 2-1 within your group?
Correct.
And you have one race left against Lord Monty, who's also at 2-1.
Yes. That'll be the decider.
That'll be a heck of a race, I suspect.
Definitely, yeah. That's on Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, I was gonna ask if you had that scheduled. Nice. That'll definitely be one to watch.
Yes. So in Ice Palace, I was trying to do a bomb jump over the hook shot.
Yeah, I mentioned that was kind of a weird trick. Did you forget you had hook shot, or
No, I was just going for it because I felt like I felt pretty good about it, and after I realized I had 3 hearts remaining, I just give up on it and use hook shot.
Okay,
Malle
right.
using cape strats in the second phase of Ganon.
Yeah, with the half magic.
Why not, right?
Not a bad call. And he's sitting at 3 hearts. Might as well play it safe there. Yeah, that Ice Palace bomb jump is not one I've really practiced myself.
I've done it a few times. It's not something I usually go for, but I felt pretty good and it just blew up in my face.
Quite literally.
Right. Luckily, I didn't die off from it, but I wanted to try to show it off, but maybe next time.
Now, what point did you figure out you were ahead?
I really wasn't sure. I maybe picking up Ice Rod in Ice Palace. Because that's way deep in there. One of the last chests to pick up in Ice Palace. There, and then once I had Ether, I felt pretty good. But I still wasn't sure just because the other could have done the.
Yeah, I mean, Quostin's finishing up Lambo right now. He wasn't terribly far behind. He was about pretty much all of Ganon's tower behind at the end, which isn't bad.
Malle finishes off Ganon in his race.
He got done with a 137.29 on SRL.
That is a really good seed. That is a really good time.
Yeah, one of the fastest seeds I've played since the big update.
Yeah. Yeah, which is why I don't know. It's kind of hard, in my opinion, at least when you have a seed like this. It's really hard to tell where you are in relation to your
Right.
because it's that early go mode. It was kind of open-ended. It's really kind of hard to gauge. Like, I don't know. Did your opponent find everything a little bit faster than you? With all the options available to you. Like,
Exactly.
It's really hard to tell.
Could have dove into Swamp. Could have continued into Thieves Town, which would have been pretty common, even though it's a pendant. Not having to come back was nice. I was not expecting that at all.
Yeah, this was that's got to be tough to gauge.
I mean, no mirror, no flute.
Yeah, those are like 2 items that are generally a nice convenience to have, but kind of like halfway through the seed we did kind of talk about how they probably you didn't really want to find them anymore.
Right.
They would have just opened up more parts of the map at that point.
And when you're down to a couple of items for go mode, you really don't want to start seeing things that open up more places.
Yeah, for sure.
Chad asks what Quostin's looking for. Presumably he might be looking for butter. Or red mail, which we know is at Lumberjacks.
Really?
Or, I'm sorry, not Lumberjack. Sorry.
I thought that was Arrows.
Breadsmiths. Breadsmiths.
Okay. Make sure I didn't see that incorrectly.
Lumberjack, blacksmith. Same thing, really.
Close enough.
It's right next to Kakariko Village, and not everyone does it. Quostin finishes up Troll Dorm 2. Keku finishing up Landmo 2. And I believe that is Malle coming in for...
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes. Good game, sir.
Good game. I thought I was going to lose that so bad, honestly.
Yeah, congratulations. Yeah, it was actually a pretty close race for a while. I think you were ahead of Keku for like just by like a little bit for quite a while there, and then he didn't realize that he picked up Ether.
You know what the funny thing is? I didn't realize I picked up Ether too. That was in the Pod Dark one, wasn't it? The Darkness.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a couple things there. You had the earlier dip into Ice Palace, whereas Keku really put that off for quite a while, which obviously ended up hurting him because it had the Ice Rod. And then, which he was in Go mode once he picked that up, but he didn't realize it because he didn't realize that he'd picked up Ether. So kind of after that point, he went and cleared out like the rest of the overworld before realizing that he had Ether in his inventory.
I had to check my menu, because when I got Ether in Palace of Darkness, I didn't realize I had it, because I didn't see the icon pop up, and I looked at my menu, and it didn't click to me. But then when I got there, I was like, well, maybe I'll double check, maybe I forgot I got it or something, and I had it.
And Quostin is on the Big Pig now. Did you at any point figure you might be ahead, Malle?
Early on, I think I was, because I did very early dungeon dives when I had overworld to check, and for a little bit there, I thought I might have been ahead, but when I started checking overworld and didn't really find anything, I thought I was slipping behind, and I thought when I was getting into DT that he was probably going to be done soon, but...
Man, Go mode in an hour? That's
For this
insane.
logic is incredible, yes.
Yeah, it was a fast seed. Which I talked to Jet in here, who won his race, about that too. That the early Go modes can be a little bit scary in these one-on-one situations.
Yeah, especially in like a seed that's kind of linear, because we didn't have Mirror for a long time. Mirror's in GT, so that skips like a lot of things you can check. Like obviously Swamp Palace, the Mire area, because we didn't have Flute either. Or at least I didn't.
No, no one
No
actually
flute.
found the flute.
I have no idea where it was.
Quostin picks up his, or gets his torch glitch. And Keku is heading into the Big Pig fight himself. Quostin finishes off Ganon. Sorry, I know there's interview, but there's still racing going on.
Oh no, that's fine.
And Quostin is through the door. Quostin gets his official SRL time of 1:43:57.
Well, Keku making quick work of Phase 2 again in here. We'll be moving on to Phase 3 in a second. And I just threw out the runners in chat there. Just wanted to make sure to plug these guys one more time. Please give these runners a follow. They put on a heck of a race. A heck of 2 races for us today. And very kind of them to let us restream it for everyone's enjoyment here.
Yeah, if you're not following these guys, why aren't you?
Thank you guys for commentating.
Well, you're
Yeah,
welcome,
anytime.
sir.
So it was a really fun one to watch. So I think it was Malle. You said that this was like kind of linear because of the lack of like the mirror and flute, but it's actually really open-ended. Besides, like you couldn't access those 2 slots, but you guys had like that bow in Thieves Town, fire rod and pod,
Yeah, that's true.
flippers in Skullwoods. Like all these like dungeons had like kind of a progression item halfway through, so there's a lot of variation between the four of you guys. I really don't think any of you guys really did things in the same order, and like often none of like you were all in different places at different times.
Ooh, Keku
Oh.
almost falling off.
That was a close call there. So I mentioned earlier that you gotta be careful not to be too aggressive. Like Jet took a little bit of time there, kind of baiting out the fire bats, making sure to dodge because you want to avoid that situation there. Keku got a little lucky that he didn't get knocked back any further because you can easily get hit in the middle of the arena there and fall off.
Keku through the door with an official SRL time of 1:45.59.
Wow.
GG Keku.
Wow, all four of you get faster times than my personal best on standard mode.
Yeah,
Incredibly
so
fast seed.
Everyone put up a good showing there. That was really good times from everybody.
Yeah, that was insane. Also, a big shout out to our restreamer Alvi and our trackers Volt and Slim Kirby.
Yeah, make sure to give them a follow too. That's pretty much thankless jobs. They're kind of sitting behind the scenes, but they make sure everything goes over smoothly. So they're putting in a lot of good work. Schizocarp's Homecoming, dude. I don't think I've seen that one. Every new version of the logic, they add in like more random names for Shashula, and they're always fun to take a look at.
And Keku will be coming in for his interview shortly. Welcome, GG to you, sir.
Hey, what's up?
Yo,
Hey,
good
GG.
race.
GG. That was fun. That was a fun seed.
Like legitimately funny as it was, actually.
Well, the fact that like a lot of the items were pretty easy to find. No, not easy to find. They're like kind of close, like boots, mitts, and then what was it? Then the hook shot, and then I don't know. You know what happened? I forgot that I had ether.
Yeah, I almost did too.
We were commenting on that. That's unfortunate.
Where was it? Where I don't remember picking it up.
It was
Dark
in one
Maze.
of the, it was in one of the pod dark rooms. So it doesn't show up.
I picked it up when it was dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, that confused me too. I got there and I opened my menu. I'm like, when did I pick up ether? I don't remember that. And then I remembered the item that I got in the maze that I couldn't see, and then just clicked.
I was panicking. I was like, where is ether? And then I just forgot to check my menu. Oh wow.
Yeah, I was really feeling for you there, dude. I've definitely done that before. It's really easy to pick up a required item in those dark rooms and not realize it.
Okay, just to shout out another randomizer, there is a Dragon Warrior Randomizer vodcast will be showing on all of the Randomizer Mania channels, because tomorrow is the grand finals of the Dragon Warrior Randomizer tournament on RPG Limit Break.
Ooh.
Very cool.
I didn't know you could do a Dragon Warrior Randomizer.
Yeah, I haven't watched a ton of it, but it is pretty interesting. It randomizes. Well, there's different settings that you can do, but it can randomize like the towns, the items available in shops, like I think the order you get spells in and stuff. It's pretty interesting to watch.
And seriously, all four of you, great job. If you're not following these runners, you need to be.
Thank you.
In fact,
Yeah.
before I log off everything for the night, I'm going to be following these 4 guys.
Aw, shucks. Thanks.
Dang, yeah, Quostin there, 135 items collected. I didn't check the other racers, but that's a pretty low item count for this logic. So, it's another sign of like it was a pretty open-ended, fast seed. It was a lot of fun to watch.
Oh, it was great fun. It was great fun to watch. It was great fun to do commentary on. I'm sure it was fun to play.
It wasn't too bad, no.
It's
Yeah.
better than spending 2.5 hours on a seed. That may
Oh,
happen
for
sometimes.
sure.
Oh yeah. I've played some monsters.
This, in my opinion, Link to the Past Randomizer is a little more. I want to say more fun in a way than the Super Metroid Randomizer, because I do that too, and like I like the puzzle of the Link to the Past, like the puzzle challenge kind of thing.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like it makes a bigger impact too than the Super Metroid Randomizer, which I've messed around with as some as well. Both are obviously really fun.
Did anybody find flutes, by the way?
Negative.
Wow.
And a couple of people, the people that did the Dark Magician routing in Ganon's Tower, found the mirror.
Oh.
Yeah,
That was on right side.
Okay.
yeah, it was in the Compass Room. Flute was probably like in Swamp Palace or something then. I don't know. You guys are gonna have to go back through and find it.
Yeah, right?
Twitch chat demands it.
Oh well, let me reset and just do this all over again.
There you go. 100%.
Also, a big shout out to our streamers, Michel Volt and Slim our restreamer Alvi, and our trackers, Michel Volt and Slim Kirby.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Thanks for putting this all together. Really great tournament. I love the organization of it, and just amazing team of people. Great people.
Yeah.
The guys,
Yep.
the good stuff you guys do is incredible. Blows my mind to know how many races are getting restreamed all the time, every day.
Yeah, it's an insane undertaking. So yeah,
Oh,
as DM here pointed out, please give the restreamers, trackers, the runners a follow. There's so much work that goes into each and every one of these races, and there's several every day. So there's a lot of work being done. So show them some appreciation, guys.
Absolutely, and we've got some big ones coming up this week too. We've got Three Ducks and Spiffers the Grand set up for tomorrow. We've got Malagord and Duke Firebird, I Have No Name and Mafia Guido, Lord Monty and Jet ABB, Karnath and Akash N set up for Tuesday. We've got some big ones up Wednesday, Thursday. There's great races going all week as the group stage finishes up.
Yeah, so also if you want to have a better idea of when these races are going on, there's schedule links down below in the channel information, but also give these channels a follow. The Randomizer Mania, like 1 through 4 channels.
The Ocho.
The Ocho.
Yes. Yes,
so you
Randomizer Mania 4, also known as the Ocho.
That's yeah. I'm a linguist expert. That's Spanish for 4. But yeah, give the Randomizer Mania channels a follow, the Speed Gaming channels a follow.
I do want to point out too, if you guys if you guys missed any of the races, they are usually highlighted and exported to YouTube within a day or two. So there is a speed gaming channel on YouTube, so check that out.
Yes, do check that out. Check out the Speed Gaming channel on YouTube. Follow these runners, follow the restreamers, follow the trackers. And I think that's about that's about all for us. I've been DM Stewart 1981.
I've been Sorb.
Thanks again, guys.
everybody.
Thank you
Good
for
game.
commentating.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thanks for the race.
You're welcome, gentlemen.
Thanks for
Bye-bye.
commentating with me, DM. It was a lot of fun. Appreciate it, dude.
Oh, it was great fun. Thank you.
And then stay tuned for that Dragon Warrior Randomizer vodcast.
Absolutely.